felt so compelled to share what it is that I have been doing behind the scenes with looking at the different types of businesses that have been flowing our way. And it's such a scary topic that I want to make more simpler for everyone. I feel as though that the underwriting process is the part in which stops people from moving on and finding and looking into a business because it just seems very advanced and like there's going to be things that you don't know about this particular topic and this particular part, and actually looking into a business that I have made this very simple for you to do. And I'm excited to share what it is that I've been doing behind the scenes. So, we're not going to make it sound scary, and we are going to take out this like very scary word when it comes to business and call it a business analysis. The financial part of it just seems like you need to have some sort of background or degree in finances, and it really just isn't the case. And so, what I want to share and the goal for this presentation is that you are going to know exactly the data, the documents that are needed to actually do this business analysis. I want to share with you how you will use then that data and those documents that you will get so that you can draft an initial letter of intent. I'm going to also provide you with why you're going to be coming up with certain questions and how you'll actually generate those questions. I think that's another key part of people where people get scared is that it's okay, I got this document. Now what do I do? What am I looking at? What do I ask? So I'm going to help you consistently be able to look at these documents and come up with some questions that you will ask in every business. And then I will, at the end of this, give you the framework in making an actual fair offer, because that's the whole point of you looking at a business for you to then decide whether or not this is a business you want to buy and what the heck is a fair offer to present to a seller. So I'm going to break this down in the next 40, 50 minutes here, and we will spend time on each topic. I will also share a lot of my experience so that you guys understand the examples where this is coming from. And then, like I said, at the end of it, I will answer any of the questions that you have based off of what will be shared today. So, a little bit about me. Okay, first, and of course, a disclaimer. But this past year, I've underwritten over 50 businesses. And in that process, I've really come up with a very simple framework and idea in which you will be able to use again and again for every other business that you look at. Not only has that happened in this past year, but this has been a part of my own internal operations of my other businesses. We review our P&L statements every quarter, and we will just go line by line and determine whether or not there are things that need to be improved, what needs to get removed, or what has been implemented and needs to be continued to maintain. So for the last 10 years in all of my businesses, have been doing this review, underwriting, business analysis. And I've now just taken that and those frameworks and now have applied it to my investigation when I'm looking into buying a business. So I know for a fact that this is definitely going to work for you, especially with the way that I'm breaking it down. But of course, this is for your education purpose only. You will definitely need to have a part of your team, some experts to help you just really finalize some of these details. You'll need a lawyer involved in this case. You'll need an accountant or a tax strategist in this case. You'll need to even have some professions come in to do part of your due diligence, especially when you don't know certain areas. So just keep that in mind that there definitely will need to be some legal professionals in your business analysis that'll eventually come into play when you really start getting down to the finish line. I really am sharing this from what I've been doing in my own businesses and what I've been doing this past year, looking at businesses. And I really feel that what I've been doing is something that can be replicated by everyone here today. The purpose of you doing this is to become a quote unquote underwriter. And I know for a fact that you'll be able to leave here today feeling confident that you can do this process. But there are three very important areas that you need to understand about this process. And number one, like in anything that we do, is going to be your mindset going into this. This is extremely important that you come at this with discretion and you've got some emotional regulation into getting to this because it can be very exciting. And so the point is that you need to just suppress that excitement and go at it, what I would describe like a doctor. Okay. So a doctor is going to tend to each of their patients with discretion to each different case and scenario that for the reason why they're there. There's no emotion behind, or at least they should not have emotion behind their patient's case because it can affect the way that they are treating them. So you will do this the same. Each business that you will look at will need you to have this emotional regulation so that you're not just buying a business because you like it. Okay. Like that's not the reason why you're going to go into this process. You will need to have self-control. That's going to be very important where you don't get ahead of yourself. You don't try to rush this process. Something to just keep in mind is that time is in your favor. Okay. Yes, we want to buy a business in the next 12 months. That's very exciting to do. Absolutely doable, but definitely have the self-control and know that it is in your best interest to make sure that you take time for this process and you don't rush scenarios that should not be rushed. Even something I read once that I think is going to be applicable, not that I think it is applicable for this situation, is that a deadline isn't really a deadline. It's like a marker that we need to understand to keep us within confines. But how many of us have had deadlines get pushed back? How many of us have asked for extensions, as some of us here are experts in real estate? We've done multiple deals. It's not something that we have to be very strict about, and not anything that needs to control the outcome or the best outcome for us in this case. And then you must understand, and this is for people who get a little squirrely when it comes to the idea of negotiation. The moment you decide that you are interested in a business is when negotiation begins. That is when your regulation of your emotions needs to kick in. That's when your self-control needs to kick in, because now from here on out, the whole goal is for you to gather information so that you can ultimately make the best decision. And with gathering information is part of what's going to help you negotiate the best and fair offer for a business.